It's a pleasure to see so many people in this room today to come celebrate with us now the fourth time that we have come together for the 3D Experience User Conference. And so this is the opportunity for us to bring our ENOVIA and NetVibes users together to be able to celebrate innovation and collaboration. Really, if you look around this room, that this conference has tripled in size since the first time that we've had this. So I was kind of curious, just by show of hands, how many were here last year? A good percentage. This is outstanding. And so welcome back. Thank you for coming again. We were hoping to build on the success that we had last year because we had a lot of positive feedback on the sessions that were delivered and the content that we presented. My name is Kyle Herring, by introduction. I'm on the ENOVIA marketing team and have been for the past 6 years. It's been my pleasure to be here as your Master of Ceremonies. What's nice is that over the past 6 years, we've seen this community really grow. And so people are coming together to be able to share ideas, to share their experiences, and to collaborate in ways that we can drive innovation. We're really reimagining the way that products and experiences are being delivered, rethinking business processes and operations, all using the 3D Experience platform. In addition to what we're doing right now, you're going to have an opportunity to participate while you're here in several topical breakout sessions. We'll have several plenary sessions, and then, of course, later on this evening, we're going to have a nice networking reception because there are plenty of opportunities to meet with your fellow colleagues in this space. I wanted to start things off with just a little bit of fun, because in the design that we have for the conference, we put a little bit of an Easter egg in here. It's a little subtle tip on kind of what we think this conference is all about. Does anybody know what it is? It's this. This simple shape, a six-sided polygon, also known as a hexagon. Thank you. Would anybody like to guess on why we're highlighting this in the context of what we're doing here today? It's because of this. This shape creates honeycomb. The shape of honeycomb is important to us because if you think about it, what does honeycomb have to do with collaboration and innovation? Well, let's go ahead and start with innovation because really, as it turns out, bees are very ingenious engineers themselves. If you look at a honeycomb itself, it's designed for maximum space efficiency. You couldn't nest circles together, you end up with too many gaps. You can't nest squares together because you end up with structural integrity issues. But on a hexagon, it's going to give you that optimal space, nothing wasted, and also, when you're considering strength and stability, it gives you at least 25 times their own support in weight. And so a very intelligent way to design content. Also, honeycomb is very good at heat distribution because in a hive, not only do they have to keep the honey cold, but they need to keep the hive itself cool during the hot summer months. So naturally, the bees have engineered a pretty good ecosystem for themselves. But let's talk about collaboration. Oh, I'm one step behind. Let's talk about collaboration. So when you think about this, bees are not just the smart engineers. They're also able to accomplish a lot more simply by working together. Because this concept, which is known as a hive mind, is really what we're all here for. Because everybody is able to carry specific roles and functions out to be able to achieve that common good. If you think about it, the bees are very task-oriented. You've got the queen, you've got the drones, you've got the workers, and they all are working in a superorganism together to be able to achieve what they're looking for. This is also important from a concept of knowledge sharing. I don't know if anybody's seen this, but it's actually pretty unique to bees themselves, is that if they go out and identify a source of pollen, they will come back to the hive and they execute a little dance to guide the rest of the hive back to where that pollen is, sharing the knowledge to be able to support the rest of the hive. And of course, working together to scale production. Anybody care to guess how much honey a bee produces? Well, we've got it up here, 0.5 gram of honey over the course of her lifetime. That's not a lot, but when you get thousands of bees working together, you can fill honeycomb after honeycomb with honey. And so again, being able to bring people together for collaboration and innovation. But now let's look forward into some more practical examples of this. Because as this room is full of engineers, I'm sure you've come across the honeycomb shape multiple times because from an application perspective, we see it everywhere. We see it in material science, in aircraft engineering, furniture, packaging, audio and audio technology, and even in automotive. So it cascades. That same kind of biomimicry of an ideal design cascades into what we do on a daily basis. Again, collaboration and innovation. So just like the bees, that's what the 3D Experience platform and this user conference is all about. Working together to innovate, to be efficient, to be productive, and to be sustainable. So this conference is also about community. And as you can see from this right here, we have a massive collection of people who are coming from the highest, like the very leading organizations. And so it's wonderful to have that type of representation at this conference. So my apologies, of course, if your logo is not on here, but because of the demand we've had for people coming in here, where it was hard to keep up with keeping all the logos up onto this slide. And so I'll stand out of the way if anybody was looking to take some pictures. But I will say that on behalf of all of us at Dassault Systèmes, it's wonderful to have you here. We also hope that with so many leading organizations that are here with us today, that this event provides you with a great opportunity to also make new connections with yourselves. It's not just about us telling you things, it's about having that opportunity to speak with your colleagues and to share ideas, to share innovation, and to collaborate. I'll take just a second to highlight a few logos because these are the people who will be speaking with us over the next 2 days. I will take just a second to point out that we did have a technical issue with maybe the power grid went out yesterday during our rehearsals. And so any of the speakers who did not get their guidance, please make sure that you come up to the AV room behind us in the session before so we can get you microphoned. That is just my PSA. So nonetheless, I will say after watching the sessions that were being rehearsed is that we have a lot of really good content to be able to present to you. We're really excited to share some information from some really cool innovations. And this is coming from both ENOVIA and Net5's perspective, collaboration, data science, all that. So at a glance, these are our day one speakers. It's lucky enough for us to have them with us today. Everybody in here is from around the globe to come together and to empower us with innovation and, as I said, data-driven collaboration. We're also lucky enough to have a variety of our champions in the room with us today. Good to point out that this community has really blossomed over the past couple of years, from a handful of people to now I think we're close to 100 champions. And so this community is where people come together to really push the envelope of what they're doing inside of the 3D Experience platform. This is all led by our very own Susan Lenzi. I don't know, Susan, if you're in the room, but Susan has a specific session dedicated to the Champions program later on this afternoon. And so if anybody is interested in joining the session, please feel free to find that in the agenda, and I recommend checking it out because it is a very good community of tight-knit people. And it will identify some of the value that the platform is going to provide to accelerate your abilities to deliver. On the agenda, just a quick glance at this, I did want to point out that we've got the mornings for both days will be in here in the plenary session. From then, we'll be breaking, and it'll split. We'll go to breakout sessions for the first part of the afternoon today, and then come back in here for the plenary session. And then tomorrow, really good to point out that the day starts half an hour earlier. And so please take that into consideration on how much wine you have during the evening reception. And so plan ahead. We'll be here a little bit earlier tomorrow. A quick glance at the playground also, because this is also an opportunity to not share your experiences, but then also to get hands-on with the experts in the portfolio team. And so outside in the foyer, we have an entire playground that is set aside that highlights a lot of the solutions that we are showing you today that you're going to see on this stage. And so take advantage of those opportunities and speak with the experts. You'll see each station is highlighting a specific solution. They have a card that is on front of it below the monitor, which will identify exactly what's being shown. Take advantage of all the stations because we have, I think, 9 of them set up. And so please, during the breaks, enjoy those conversations with our technical teams. A few quick housekeeping items. Obviously, the Wi-Fi is going to be important. They've got a highly secure password. This is going to be also important because if we move forward just one slide, this is also how we're going to be communicating with you during the conference. And so please do download the Swim app, Google Play, on the App Store, because we have the dedicated ENOVIA and NetVibes communities that we'd like you to always be members of. But inside the ENOVIA community, we'll also be making posts for each session. And so that's an opportunity for you to be able to provide feedback, ask questions, engage in the conversation with the other attendees. And so we will be posting that and engaging with you in real time. And so it's a great opportunity to be able to engage. Also, joining the communities, we want to make sure that you can scan. This is the link. It'll take you to a link tree that will give you access directly into both the ENOVIA community, the NetVibes communities, and then both of our respective LinkedIn communities, because we would also like you to share your experiences with your extended network. And so feel free, take some pictures, share some thoughts, and then hashtag with the 3DXUCEN, obviously the user conference ENOVIA NetVibes. If you don't see it, it's also over here on the lectern, and so you have a reference. Or you can scan that QR code. Hot tip, it's also on the back of your badge. And so don't feel if you don't have your phone out right now, we can still get it to you. And then a last piece, we will encourage live Q&A. We want this to be interactive. We want this to be, ask questions, engage with the audience, because that really enriches the experience. We're going to do this based on how much time we have available, and so we'll try and get to Q&A. If we don't have time, let's move this over into the swim conversations.